Hello everyone, I'm Rebecca Keppel. Today's video is another episode of my new and must-have crafty supplies series. In these videos, I share new products that I've tried out and love so that you can see them before you buy them. I am super excited to be sharing today the new Tim Holtz for Ranger domed foam ink blenders. I for one love foam blenders, but I tend to have a heavy hand and so I end up making lines at times. These domed foam blenders are a game changer for me. I'm also sharing a few new tools from Tonic Studios, the Nuvo Embellishment Tool, and their very fine-tipped tweezers. In the last new and must-have crafty supplies video, I shared a new-to-me company, Sugar Pea Designs, and I promised you that there were some other stamps and dies that I had my eye on that I wanted to share with you. So today we're going to do that as well. If you've seen my other videos, you probably know that I love memory box paper pads. I think their foil paper and their glitter cardstock are amazing. So today I decided to try their slimline pattern paper pad that has some foil accents. Last but not least, I did try out Avery Elle's Loads of Hello stamp set and coordinating dies. I love these extra large sentiments and I love that you can cut them out as well, and the fact that the sub-sentiments come in the label maker font. So let's get to card making with all these supplies so that you can see them in action. So the first thing that I want to work with are the new mini domed ink blending foams from Tim Holtz and Ranger. You can see these foams are very thick and the bottom is sturdy, not like the other circular foams that are kind of able to be bent in half. These are very sturdy. They attach perfectly to the Ranger mini ink blending tools and they stay put once they're on there. That Velcro is very strong. So just add some ink. I'm using Distress Oxide Cracked Pistachio. You can see how easy it was to add it to the foam. And then I'm going to use circular motion to add it to an A2 piece of white cardstock. I'm using Nina Solar White in 110 pounds. You can see that you can get nice complete coverage or you can get really soft lines on the outside. I love these tools. I am super impressed because they are pretty affordable for a 10 pack, and yet you can get all of these really great qualities of ink blending out of them. So now that we've done the full coverage cracked pistachio, this is where the real genius comes in when you're trying to blend colors out. And I know lots of people struggle with this. I certainly do as well. So using Distress Oxide and using these domed foam blenders and using a good quality cardstock, those three things can really help you get a nice, soft, even blend. So I'm using faded jeans at the top and then tumbled glass in the center and going back and forth a couple of times just to really blend those lines out. But look at how impressive that is. There are no harsh lines and one color smoothly moves into the next. I grabbed a die from the Just My Type Sugar Pea Designs dies and I cut out these numbers across the card, but I don't want to pop them out, so I'm just going to put some tape runner behind them. They were thin enough that they didn't just fall out. They probably would have if I used a shim. I am going to then stamp with Gina K Designs amalgam ink on top of this Distress Oxide inked panel, the typewriter, and the little sentiment. And I will warn you, I tried to use Versamark ink for this because I like the way it sits on top of the paper. Every single time, whether I heat set the ink blended panel or the ink, it always smeared. So I liked using Gina K here. For the next card, I'm going to use the dies that create the typewriter from Sugar Pea Designs, and they are layering dies. So you can see I'm using 4 of the dies from the set to layer up this typewriter, and it's very easy to put together. There's an outline, then there's the one that die cuts the keys, and then there's one that die cuts like sort of the top, and then there's one that die cuts a piece of paper that I did stamp a little sentiment, and all the little tiny sentiments fit on that paper. So it's just a really cute set to go from the stamp set and the dies or combine them. I'm going to layer some teal cardstock on top of an A2 piece of black cardstock. And then I'm going to use some black foam squares to pop up this typewriter. I have about 4 of them on there. I wanted to make sure it stayed popped up, but I wanted to use black because the back layer is black cardstock, and then just lay that down. And Oh my gosh, I have a typewriter that's sort of like this. It's teal, and this is such a cute set. It makes me so happy. There's also some sentiments like this that look like typewriter keys. It says friend, so I thought that would go really well. This is very clean and simple, but this card makes my heart so happy. I did die cut a piece of pattern paper from the Memory Box slimline pad and just add that little heart on the bottom of sending happy thoughts. Moving on to the next card, we're going to use Sugar Pea Designs Jukebox Jive stamp set and the dies. I'm using my Debbie tool to apply nice even pressure to this long stamp here. This is a really good way to use this tool. I'm not affiliated with the tool I don't have an affiliate link with it, but I love using it to get great even pressure. So I will link it below for you. I am going to use Distress Oxide Kitsch Flamingo to stamp the sentiment, which is from the stamp set. I also stamped those little records in black ink. I'm going to stamp music notes and some of those little sparkles like from the 60s diner look. And now we're going to use the dies to create the jukebox. So I've cut most of these different dies out of a few colors: teal, pink, black, white, and silver metallic cardstock. If you ever are not sure how to put something together or what die goes where, I highly recommend looking at the manufacturer's website. Usually their product pages have samples from designers, which make it really easy to figure out where things are supposed to go. So that's basically what I did here. And you don't have to use every single little die if you don't want to. There's just all these little accents that you can use to put this together to make it look very realistic, even though we're making it in such fun colors. Here's the Tonic Studios Nuvo Embellishment Tool to pick up a piece of tiny little white cardstock there and adhere it down. And I am using a mix of tape runner and liquid glue. When I use liquid glue for paper piecing, I like to use Thermoweb's Ultra Bond because it's clear and it gives you a little bit of time to move things around before it fully dries. So all of these little pieces get put together to create the cutest little jukebox. I decided to put this all down on an A2 piece of black cardstock that I had cut out a bunch of things from, but I had just enough room to mat it on top. And this is going to go on a card base, so you'll never see the cutouts on the back. For the next card, we're going to use Avery Elle's Loads of Hello stamp and die set. And I'm using Serenade and Cummerbund inks from Catherine Pooler to stamp up the hello and the little label sub-sentiment. I do like to double stamp even with the Catherine Pooler just to get a really, really crisp, clear impression there and to let it all smooth out. These dies are really easy to line up. Just make sure you can't see any white around the letters and you know that you have it in place. Use some purple tape to hold it while you run it through your die cut machine. These are two of the pattern papers from the Memory Box Slimline pattern paper pad. You can see that on one side they have the gold foil accents. On the other side it is a different plaid. So it gives you lots of options in one pad there. And then I'm going to use some tape runner to adhere those large sentiments across this slimline card. It says hey, hi, and then hello. And then we have the sentiment, the sub-sentiment that says just a note to say. These tweezers are really fine tipped and can be used to pick things up or hold things. And they are that reverse squeeze where you squeeze it and it opens it rather than squeeze it and close it. And the embellishment tool I really like. It's tiny. It's kind of got almost a foam tip to it. And so it really just picks up things very easily. I don't feel like it's going to dry out on me. So I will continue to let you know how it goes. But for right now, I am finding using the embellishment tool and then using the tip of the tweezers to really hold down the sequin helps a lot. So the combination of those two tools made it really easy to put all these sequins down on the front of the card. After I looked at it for a little while, I did not think that the other two colors besides cummerbund really matched with the pattern paper, so I decided to stamp all three sentiments again in the cummerbund Catherine Pooler ink and then die cut them all out with those coordinating dies and put tape runner behind them and just layer them right on top of the ones that I already had down on the card. So if you ever do something like that where you just don't like the way the color looks, or especially if it's a die cut, it is a really easy fix to just layer it on top, because then you also get the double dimension from the die cut underneath. So I ended up liking this a lot better. I just felt like the yellow and the green didn't really go with that plaid pattern paper, but I like this as it is. What was your favorite product that I highlighted today? I'd love to hear about it down in the comments below. If you like seeing new product reviews, please give this video a thumbs up so that I know. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to hit the bell so you can be notified every time I have a new video available. As always, I want to thank you so much for spending time with me today. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again soon. Hello, everyone. It's getting too wordy. In my last new and the